Isn't this just such a crazy concept for a game, but it somehow works so well? Like, how do you even think it came to be, right? Like, the devs must have came in from like a wintry drive into the studio or wherever this was made. This is my own headcanon, by the way. They come in from like a snowy drive. They have a blank whiteboard. They're sitting at the table. They're like, guys, what do we even do? You know, we got to come up with a game or something to do. And then they come in, take off their coats, throw their gloves on the table, and one of them just gets like a strange look in his eyes, right? And he's like, that could work, guys. That could work. And they're all like, what are you talking about? And then he's just like, gloves. And they're like, oh. And he's like, a glove that can walk and jump. And they're like, oh. And then he's like, we call it Glover. And then they all just stand up and cheer like it's Wall Street. I don't know, man. It's just such a bizarre concept. It's like, okay, guys, we're going to make a glove and it holds a rubber ball and that's how you get around the map. It's like so like basic, but it's so like creative at the same time. I don't know how to describe it. It's like, it was fascinating to me when I was a kid and I played this game, you know. This is another one of those N64 games that I feel like just flew under the radar, man, you know, because you had the big hitter titles like Ocarina of Time, Super Smash Bros., Mario Kart, Mario 64, GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, you know. So you had the games like Chameleon Twist that was really good that I talked about way earlier. And then you have games like Glover as well that just, you know, fly under that radar. They go undiscovered. They're hidden gems, man. And that's kind of exactly why I chose this game as episode 25. Welcome to Mainline episode number 25, by the way. Mainline episode number 25. It is a milestone episode for me. 25 episodes of games I've been playing and talking about, man. It's very cool to see. I'm very excited to keep going. But yeah, for 25, it's, you know, 25 is kind of a special number. It's not that crazy, but it's like half of 50, right? So I was like, you know, it's a milestone. Why not? And that's exactly why I wanted to talk about Glover. You know, it's a game from my childhood that I remember loving, but it's not a super hard hitter like, you know, that Ocarina of Time or one of the Dooms or a Halo per se. That's why I didn't want to make it some like huge one that I'm obsessed with, but 25, small milestone, so small game that I'm in love with, and that is how it came to be. So yeah, here we are with Glover, originally released November 16th, 1998. Man, that was like 25 years ago, man. That is so crazy. Like, I know I say it a lot, but man, like just that pure advancement in technology and graphics and just capability of a video game nowadays compared to something like this 25 years ago, like that jump is like, that's not a very long time period, right? Like 25 years, like, sure, it's kind of a long time, but it's not that long in like tech standards, right? But like, that's such a massive jump to what we have now. Like the new Call of Duty just came out, and I've been actually, I don't really like Call of Duty that much. Call of Duty was shit for the long time, but this one was on Game Pass, so I wanted to try it out, and I'm actually very much enjoying it. But yeah, just the graphics and cinematics that are insane, and it's just crazy to think that 25 years ago, I would have never thought to have anything like that realm and the possibility of video games. It literally looks like a movie. It's actually insane. It's also really inspiring for the future because it's like, okay, what's 25 more years going to do for advancing that? You know, what are games going to look like in 25 more years, man? I don't know, dude. It's going to be, we're living in some pretty great times. You know, everybody always cries, oh, games are terrible nowadays, there's nothing to play, which is just insane to me. I feel like it's because, you know, you have so much easy access to games nowadays that it's just like a huge, overwhelming library of you just don't even know what to pick, you know? And it's hard to find a game that you would want to play. I don't know, man. Times have changed. I'm just happy I've been alive long enough to see that evolution of games. It's just been so cool to see, you know, because I can't even remember like the first game I played. I have older siblings that have played like the NES and stuff like that. I was alive like right when the N64, that's like when I started gaming. I had a Game Boy Color and stuff. So I just love these old retro games, man. Like, I couldn't imagine coming into the modern gaming age right now and not having experienced like all of these relics from the past, man. It really makes me appreciate everything going forward too. And these older games are just such a great break from the nuance of like newer stuff, you know? Newer stuff is a lot more technical. The older stuff is just more way laid back. It's super charming. It's really chill. And that's exactly what Glover was to me, man. It's a very chill platforming experience. Although there was some parts of the game I was getting a little frustrated at that. We'll get into that later. But yeah, Glover, very, very fun game, and I would absolutely recommend it to anybody, especially if you're a platform enjoyer. Let me just get the story out of the way right now, so I'm going to spoil it for anybody. I know you've had 26 years to play it, so, my bad. I got to squeeze this in. This is just another thing I love about these older games, man, is like, there doesn't have to be some crazy abstract story with all these crazy twists and turns and interesting characters and developing plots. The story of this game, there's literally just a wizard in a castle. He's making potions and stuff. He has two sentient gloves named Glover and Glovel, and he mixes a wrong batch of potions. Glovel falls into the pot of potions. It explodes. The castle loses his little crystals that holds it together. Glovel becomes evil. He becomes cross-stitch. The wizard gets turned into a statue. Glover gets blown out of the window to safety. And then he has to visit all of these portals in these different worlds to reclaim the crystals and then save the castle and world. That's it. So I'm sorry if I spoiled it. If you're really looking forward to that plot with no spoilers, then I apologize deeply. I know the lore in this game goes absolutely crazy. And there should have been a sequel, man. I actually read on the wiki a couple minutes ago that there was supposed to be a sequel, but it got canceled, man. I would love to see the series come back. This is another series that's just dead in the water that shouldn't be. I really think, dude, like imagine having two gloves you can take control of now in the modern days and just have them work together to solve different puzzles. Like that would go so crazy, man. They should come back. They should really bring this back. Glover was also made for the original PlayStation as well, and I hear it's like slightly different, and they made some stuff easier in that version, I guess. I don't really know too much about it. I just know that it exists. I know there's also a Steam version that I wanted to play because Steam is the go. I love Steam, but I already had the original on the N64, so I was like, you know what? I'll just play the original. And you know what? I'll be honest, this is one I've never played, or I've never beaten as a kid. I've gotten pretty far. I've always gotten to the prehistoric era, and then I couldn't make it past the second map because I had no idea what to do. And that's all I ever got. So I never beat this game originally as a kid. I recently just beat it, actually, as of a couple hours ago, as of recording this. And it's just another one of those games. I'm going to compare it to Chameleon Twist in the sense where there's 6 different worlds and the game just doesn't take that long to beat, which is why I love it so much, man. It's literally just a chill experience you can fly through and then just maybe get something out of it and be like, oh, wow, that was such a beautiful experience, man. And I'm also going to probably compare it to Super Mario 64 just because, that game is so iconic. It really set all the standards for like 3D platforming in the N64 era. Super Mario 64 is just like a staple, a blueprint of the 3D platformer series, man. And this game, Glover actually has the same problems that and Chameleon Twist does with the camera. The camera is just the biggest issue. I'm not going to knock it too hard for that, though, because, these are the stepping stones of how we get the good stuff today. They had to try it, they had to implement it, they had to just iron it out, polish it, and just perfect it. I'm kind of just making this connection now, but there's a lot of N64 games that are just like, they kind of share the same theme, right? It's literally like either you start in an overworld or you choose a different level to go into, and there's just different worlds with different themes, right? Like Bomberman 64, there's 4 different like worlds you visit, and 5 including the Black Fortress. Super Mario 64, there's all sorts of crazy different pictures and worlds you jump into. Chameleon Twist, Desert Castle, Ghost Castle, all sorts of different lands. Glover, the prehistoric era, the Space Galaxy world, the pirate world. I don't know, I kind of just noticed a recurring theme for N64 games there. It's kind of cool. I suppose I should probably start talking about the actual game soon. Sorry, I just love yapping about the old N64, man. I know the console isn't that liked by many, and the controller is a god-awful design. That's honestly my biggest complaint with the N64, man, is that controller. I know you can buy like the new modern style ones to plug into it, but dude, you gotta use the old 64 controller when you play these old games, you know what I mean? You're just killing the whole purpose if you're not. So yeah, I don't know what Nintendo was thinking with that design, man. Humans don't have 3 hands, so I don't know, like, it's just such a fucking bizarre controller, man. But yeah, let's get into our white little friend Glover. I love this little fucker, man. The gameplay is pretty standard, There's the jump, there's the double jump. You have a ball, the rubber ball, the famous Glover rubber ball that is a core part of the gameplay. It helps you open the map. It helps you traverse the map, and you have to bring it with you all the way through the mission. So you can't just, ditch it, leave it behind, and go to the finish. And that's exactly what Glover is, man. There's just the linear levels. You walk into a new world. There's 3 levels you have to do. There's a boss level, and then there's a bonus level if you collect all the Garibs. And that's what those little currency things are. There's like these little floating squares. They're called magic Caribs. You have to get all of them in a world to get the secret level unlocked for that world. I didn't do that personally. I didn't want to go and collect them all and look for them and spend all that time doing it. I never did it in the past either. But I just enjoyed playing through the basic worlds, killing the boss, and then just moving on. So yeah, you can go for 100% on this game. It'll just probably take a lot longer to do it and find everything. There's also a ground pound mechanic similar to Mario 64 where you jump, you press the Z button on the back of the controller. Glover then turns into a fist and smacks the ground below him. There's certain buttons marked with a red star on them that you have to ground pound to open certain parts of the map up. And that's kind of what you do in each level. You have to find those buttons. There's also a button for the ball. You have to roll the ball over it, and then that'll open certain stuff. And that's pretty much the core gameplay of Glover. And then since you're a magic glove, you do have the power to change the ball into different things, this was my favorite part of the game. And it still kind of is because it's so unique. I still have yet to see anything like this in any other game. Like, it's just such a unique mechanic. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if there's another game that features a mechanic like this. But yeah, and each ball has its own characteristics and does different things, right? The rubber ball bounces the highest, obviously. You can smack it the farthest. There's also a unique mechanic where you can jump on top of the ball and kind of like ride it across water, so it's really good for that. You can stand on top of it. You can change it into a bowling ball, which is way heavier. You can't bounce the bowling ball, but you can smack it. You can't smack it very far, but you need to smack it to break certain glass objects to get through the level and whatnot. You can change it into like a metal marble, so the metal marble is very useful. There's certain puzzles where you have to use a magnet and kind of like bring the ball into certain areas and move the ball around with the magnet. And then lastly, there's the diamond, which it might have a use, but I genuinely don't know if there's a use for like the diamond crystal ball. And it breaks, of course. So if you throw this thing, if you smack it, or if you toss it up in the air, it will break, unfortunately. So let me know in the comments below if there's a use for this. I really don't think there's a use for it. I really think it's there just for story purposes, because the ball turns into the crystal to save the castle at the end of the game. So I think it's just there for that reason alone. It has no use at all, really, at least that I've seen. There's only 4 balls you can change into: the rubber ball, the bowling ball, the marble, and the diamond. So I kind of love the fact that like choosing the right ball is kind of necessary to complete the puzzles in each level, right? And I'm a huge puzzle guy, man. I'm a puzzle nerd. I love puzzle games, man. So I love just figuring the stuff out. You're gonna be in the rubber ball form most of the game to just do the platforming in general, but then they occasionally throw a wrench in your plans and you have to change the ball around to just get different things. Like sometimes you have to change it into the bowling ball to sink. Sometimes you have to change it into the marble to get magnets to move. I don't know, man. Super cool gameplay. I enjoy that a lot. You know what else is super underrated in this game is the development of like cleaning the world up, right? So when you start out, when you first like watch the intro cutscene and then you get into the open world, it's all like dark and gloomy with like a red skybox. It almost looks like hell on earth, right? It really reminds me of Hyrule and Ocarina of Time after you make the time jump and grab the Master Sword, because it's all like dark and gloomy and depressed. You hear like crows squawking. It's really eerie. It's really gloomy. It's really that kind of same vibe. But what is interesting about Glover is in this world is as you start doing the levels and completing the levels and killing the bosses, you actually like start to clean up the world. Like it's the world after you beat each level. Not each level individually, but each world rather. The world like starts putting itself back together, which is really interesting, The sky starts clearing up. That weird chicken thing on the swing gets like less possessed in the overworld. Butterflies start coming out, flowers start developing, the grass gets green. The sky gets blue. It's just cool to see that progression as you start beating the game. That's something I just never looked at really as a kid that I just kind of noticed this time around. So that's super cool, man. And it feels like it's actually really ahead of its time. I don't know. I can't explain it. So here's what I want to do. I kind of want to talk about all of the worlds in the game. I don't want to talk about them super, super in depth though. I just want to talk about the basic theme and what they are. And then actually, after that, I kind of want to rank them from worst to best because I don't know, man. I've been obsessed with list rankings recently. Like Watch Mojo style. I don't know why, man. I just love a good ranking. I love a good worst to best or best to worst ranking. It really suits my alley. So that's what I'm going to put forward. And if you don't like it, skip ahead, I guess. I don't know. You start off in the Crystal Kingdom. This is basically just Peach's Castle from Mario 64. It's the overworld. It doesn't really serve a huge purpose. Although I know in Mario 64, there's kind of some stuff you can do in Peach's Castle. That's how you get the Metal Mario and whatnot. There's not really anything like that in Glover. It's just an overworld that serves as a main hub to get to all the other worlds. The first world is Atlantis. It's pretty much what it sounds like. It's exactly what you'd expect. It's based on the lost city of Atlantis. It's the first water world in this game, which is kind of interesting because normally there's only one water world in games, but there's two in Glover. The boss in this world is really interesting. It's a whale, a crab, and a fish all on a stack. Its name is Wendell. Very weird and interesting concept, but there it is. The second world is the Carnival World. It's exactly what you'd expect out of a carnival world. Bright colors, long slides. There's a chicken on a unicycle juggling eggs that throws them at you, of course. There's like slot machines and carnival games throughout this world. The boss is probably what you'd expect out of a carnival world. It's a clown. It's a giant clown named Clonk. I know I mention this every single time in every single video, but the soundtrack in this game is amazing, especially the carnival world. Like, all of the worlds are pretty good. The carnival world is by far my favorite one, though. Most carnival or clown soundtracks and games are annoying, but this one actually kind of hits different, man. I don't know what it is. Give it a listen. Go type it in on YouTube and give it a listen, man. Pretty good. The third world is the Pirate Realm. The second water world. This one features, more pirate ships. There's beaches and monkeys. The final boss of this is actually an orangutan named Spanky that you have to kill. It's pretty funny. The fourth realm is the Prehistoric Realm. There's a lot of different stuff going on here. There's like a volcano level. There's like a giant open grassy kind of level. This one's actually kind of cool in particular because it kind of coincides with real life, where it's like the realms it really starts like with, where the dinosaurs live and whatnot. And then it kind of ends like in an ice age, which is what we were told happened to all the dinosaurs. Who actually knows what happened? Nobody was alive back then that can tell us now. The final boss is, of course, a giant T-Rex that breathes fire. And for some reason, his name is Keith. He's in a block of ice, and then Cross-Stitch, the bad glove, has to thaw him out. Fortress of Fear is the fifth world. This is like the haunted world, the scary world. A lot of monsters, dark traps, electric traps, that kind of thing. The final boss is literally just Frankenstein. He has like an interesting platforming aspect to it too. This boss took me forever to beat, man. I had very big problems figuring it out, but I'll get into that a little later. And then the sixth and final realm is called Out of This World, and this is the outer space realm. Very cool. I've never seen this one and the Fortress of Fear before, because like I said before, I got stuck on that prehistoric era. Then I finally beat it, so I got to experience Fortress of Fear and Out of This World for the first time, and they were both pretty cool maps, man. Pretty cool maps. Not my favorite ones, especially the very last one in Out of This World, like the third level before the final boss fight, is a little it's a little hard, man. It's a little hard, but then I overcame it eventually. It just took me a while, man. It was actually a pretty difficult level. And the boss level in this game is actually just the final boss in general. It's literally you fight Cross-Stitch, but it's not exactly how you'd think it'd go. Well, I actually don't know how you'd think this final boss fight would go, but you just literally pilot a robot. He pilots a robot. He shoots missiles at you. You shoot the rubber ball at him and kill. Like, it's just a giant mech fight with two gloves piloting the mech. It's just so bizarre. Like, I never saw that coming in a million years. That is not how I thought you would kill Stitch or Cross-Stitch at the end of the game. So, dude, I was laughing. I was like, wait, am I actually doing this right now? Am I actually in a goddamn mech suit battle with fucking your opponent? Like, the final boss is literally just a mech fight between two gloves. Like, that is just so insane, man. But I'm all here for it, man. It's very fun. Very, very fun. So that's all the worlds. I'm not going to talk about the specifics of them because just go play them, dude. Like, honestly, like, why are you listening to it? Just go play them, dude. It's way more fun to play through than listen to. So yeah, let's do the world rankings. Let's rank the worlds. I was going to rank them based on final bosses, but I can't do that because, you know, platforming and going through the world is a lot more different than fighting the world's final boss, because there's some I liked of each and others I disliked of each. So let's do the worlds first, man. Let's do the worlds first. Starting off at number 6. And we're going to blow through these, by the way. I don't want to spend too much time on this because who cares, right? Actually, you know what? I'm just going to do the final bosses instead. I'm not going to rank the worlds in general because, you know, they each have their own unique puzzles and their own unique way of figuring out the map and platforming it. So I really can't compare them all. I was trying to put them in a list here, and I was like, I don't know. I kind of just like them all in their own separate ways, so I'm not going to do that. We'll do the final bosses instead. So starting off with the worst boss in the game at number 6. Maybe this is a hot take, but it's the final boss, man. I don't like the fucking final boss fight between Cross Stitch. I love the whole concept, right? The whole concept is brilliant. Mech suit fighting missiles at each other. He's shooting missiles at you. You're shooting bouncy balls back at him. But the reason it's ranked the worst, guys, is because it's not interactive at all. All you have to do is shoot balls at him and he just break his missiles with your balls too, which kind of sounds crazy out of context, so pause for that. But yeah, concept wise, it's brilliant. Gameplay wise, it falls short, man. All you do is just keep spamming A. It's not very interactive. You don't really have to think that much. That's all you do. So number 6 goes to Cross Stitch. Sorry, buddy. Coming in at number 5, we are gonna put Clonk down here, man. Clonk from the Carnival. Basically, he's sitting in the center of a ring. There's a giant spinning ring around the outside. There's multiple targets you have to hit your ball at. One like extends a fist out at him, and then the last one drops a piano at him. I just thought navigating around the circle that's spinning is pretty annoying. Nothing too crazy. I just didn't really personally enjoy this one all that much. Coming in at number 4 is going to be Spanky from the Pirate Realm. Basically, he's like swinging on a branch. All you have to do is really just knock him down and then ground pound him. Nothing too crazy, nothing too out of the world. So he's going to go comfortably there at number 4. Number 3, taking the bronze medal, is going to be the Atlantis boss, Wendell. You just have to use the bowling ball to kill the whale. You have to ground pound the crab, and then you just have to throw the ball at the flying fish at the end. Not that crazy. This is an iconic boss, though. It's the first boss. It's iconic. It's 3 of them. No hate here. I love the guy. Coming in at number 2 is Frankenstein, for the sole reason that it's literally just platforming. You have to sit here and ground pound these platforms around and get them to go up and down. I'm not going to go into too much depth about it just because it's kind of hard to explain because I'm a little retarded. But yeah, you don't actually hurt this boss. All you have to do is build a platform to get up to the ball switch, press it, and then you kill him. But getting and building those platforms is the hardest part of the challenge, and that's what I liked about it. I really enjoyed it. And then coming in at number 1 is arguably the most simple boss fight in the game, but I really love it, and it's Keith, the T-Rex. He's down at the bottom of this like giant ice slope. You have to use the bowling ball to kind of predict his movement and slap the bowling ball down this hill, and then it collides with him after becoming a giant snowball, and then it gets teleported back up to you, and then you have to do that like three more times, and then he's dead. And I don't know, I just like this one. It felt like playing a skee ball in the world of Glover. So yeah, guys, that's my definitive boss ranking for the Glover bosses. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Did I troll this? Am I retarded? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. Roast me. Roast my list here. But anyways, I think that's really going to do it for all of the Glover talk, guys. I don't really know how much more I could say about this classic, simple, little wholesome little game here, man. I really just urge you to experience it for yourself. That's the thing about these games, man, is if I sit there and if I do an explain-a-thon, then it doesn't I don't make it sound that interesting, you know. I'm really bad. That's what I'm trying to get better at. I'm really making these games not sound interesting. So go experience it for yourself. It's a solid game. Very wholesome, very wholesome. The controls, it's a little outdated, but if you can get by that, maybe the PlayStation one is better. I'm not sure. So let's hop into our few closing segments here, guys. I don't have too much more to say, so let's get into Re-Chad of the Week, where we highlight either a Chad or a retard, depending on the review of their game. We're going to head into the Steam reviews because I don't know where else to look, so we'll go with here. And honestly, guys, I'm going to have to pick a Chad this week solely because the only negative thing people are posting about this is that the PC port to Steam is bad. And I'm not just going to highlight some stupid idiot that thinks the port is bad. I want to get some actual criticism, and there's actually like no valid criticism of this that I can find in the Steam. So we're going to highlight a Chad here, and it didn't take me too long to find his comment, but I thought it was fucking hilarious. So we're going to put it up. Here we have a review from Dong Kong, great name, by the way, who says, I want Glover to give me a hand job. I mean, like, what? This was posted on Christmas, by the way, 2 years ago, December 25th, 2022. He says, I want Glover to give me a hand job. So, I mean, if that just doesn't summarize, everything in the game, then fuck it, man. I don't know. I don't even know why I chose this, man. I just thought it was funny, man. It made me laugh. So, yeah, here it is, man. Chat of the week, Dong Kong. So, there you go, sir. Thank you. Thanks for the laugh, buddy. Thanks for the laugh. As always, with the closing segment, let me just tell you all what I'm playing, what I've been playing for the past week, and what I'm going to continue to play. So I know you don't care probably, but I like talking about what I'm playing right now. So that's what we're doing here. I've been playing Overwatch, nothing different there. Love the game. Will always love the game. Hoping they add some new features soon. There's going to be a tank hero trial at the end of the season. That's very exciting. So looking forward to that. I've been playing Glover. I actually just beat it like a couple hours ago as of recording this. So we're headed right to the studio to talk about this awesome ass game. And that's what we're doing. So we played some Glover. Ever since Black Ops 6 dropped last night, I've been playing that so much, man. Everything about it I love so far. I have not touched the zombies yet because I've actually been enjoying the rest of the game so far, man. So we'll try the zombies probably today at some point, and we'll see how that goes. But that'll honestly probably be next week's episode, man, if I finish it in time. Or that's definitely going to be the next episode. It might take me longer than a week to beat it, but we'll see. I've been enjoying the campaign. I'm pretty far into the campaign so far. I've been really loving it. Very, very interesting. I've been playing the multiplayer with some friends as well. It's very, very fun. Definitely surprised me, man. You know, the last couple of Call of Duties have just not hit, and it seems like it's been on a slow decline, but I think this is a good return to form for the franchise. So we'll see how it holds up. We'll see if I keep playing it. We'll see how it goes, man. But yeah, that's really it. Just been playing Overwatch and now Call of Duty. I can't keep my fucking claws out of. This game kicks ass. And that's really it, man. I wanted to play like a horror game or a scary game. I actually had Dead Space in mind, the original one. Just, for October and whatnot, but I really just want to play Call of Duty now, man. So I think that's what we're going to do. So that's the plan for now. Could change later, but that's the plan for now. That's it, guys. We're going to wrap it up. So if you enjoyed Glover, put a glove in the comments for me. I would very much appreciate it. Comment below your favorite part of the game or what you like about it, what you hate about it. Reminisce on it with me, okay? So I appreciate you guys listening. Means a lot. That's going to do it for the episode, guys. Have a nice week. Have a nice weekday. Have a nice weekend. Don't forget to exercise. Don't forget to drink water, you fat piece of shit. I'll talk to y'all later. Goodbye, bird.